The question was from the member's own colleague, and we don't need to go into what the opposition parties might or might not have done on that. Question number 8, Jacinda Ardern. Chris Hipkins on behalf of Jacinda Ardern.
On behalf of my colleague Jacinda Ardern, whose question to the Prime Minister is, does he stand by the statement made on his behalf that, quote, this government is focused on improvements within the economy in order to create the platform on which business and New Zealanders can invest and grow jobs?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, on behalf of the Prime Minister, yes.
Chris Hipkins.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Supplementary to the Minister. How does his government putting over 2,000 New Zealanders out of jobs in the public sector contribute to his government's commitment to create jobs?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, in the next 10 years, this economy will need to grow by earning a living, selling things to the rest of the world, whereas in the last 10 years it grew by borrowing money and increasing government spending. So government has to contain its growth. New Zealanders have stopped borrowing, and now we're all focused on earning a living in the world, and that's the only way we're going to get higher incomes. It does mean that the real estate sector and the government sector will have to contain their growth and perhaps shrink in places. I know earning a living instead of borrowing is not how Labour Party sees the world, but it's how the rest of New Zealand sees it.
Chris Hipkins.
Mr Speaker, if his government's truly committed to creating more highly skilled jobs in the New Zealand economy, how does National's decision to buy trains and carriages from China while laying off skilled workers at the Hillside and possibly Woburn workshops contribute to that goal?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, the background to that decision has been covered by the Minister of Transport in this House over the last week. The best opportunity for those workers is to be able to move into an export-orientated industry such as the one near the Hillside workshops, which sells very high-value gas-powered fireboxes into the top end of the market in the US, an expanding business with new investment in exporting, and a business that actually took a number of the workers from Fisher and Paykel when they left to take their factory to Mexico. So we want to create the opportunity for those workers from Hillside to get new and better paid and more sustainable jobs.
Chris Hipkins.
Mr Speaker, if his government is truly committed to creating more highly skilled jobs in the New Zealand economy, why has it cut industry training by $100 million, overseen thousands of students being turned away from university, and a drop in the number of modern apprentices by over 1,000?
The Honourable Bill English.
Oh, well, Mr Speaker, the member should get his facts right. In fact, there are more places in tertiary education than there have ever been, particularly in universities. And with respect to industry training, the Labour Party used that as a political scheme to make it look like it was attached to skills. In fact, it was a scheme, it was badly run, and tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars were wasted on industry trainees who got no credits or qualifications at all. And the Minister of Tertiary Education is cleaning up yet another Labour mess of extravagance and waste.
Chris Hipkins.
Mr Speaker, if his government is truly committed to building a skilled workforce that will meet our future needs, why is he encouraging skilled tradespeople from overseas to come here to help with the rebuild of Christchurch, rather than ensure we train more tradespeople locally, particularly given the skill shortages we're likely to face in the future as the baby boom retirement reaches its peak?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, if the member was doing the very basics of opposition, and that is getting to know his subjects, he would know that the government announced a training package for Christchurch some weeks ago, providing literally thousands of places for the training that can go with the rebuild of Christchurch.
Question number 9, Te Urro Flavel.